Every little girl grows up dreaming about her happy ever after, but most of us don't have fairy tale scriptwriters making sure we get it. That's where the Happy Ever After show comes in. If you have been waiting for a fairy godmother to wave her magic wand and release your frustrations, create the prosperity you want, and live a life you love, then listen closely. It's time to learn how to make your own wishes come true with your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello and welcome back to the Happy Ever After show. It's been a couple of weeks, maybe more than that, since I've been in your maybe in your earbuds. So just want to say welcome back. I'm excited about this new season, which is all about manifesting $10,000. And in a bigger sense, it's all about manifesting money and really having the relationship with money where you are welcoming it into your life so that you can build your business quicker and easier. That's what it's all about, right? Building your business quicker and easier. And really, if money isn't flowing in, you don't have a business, right? You have, some people call it a hobby, you have something else, maybe it's an expensive hobby, but when money isn't flowing into your business, it's not really a business. And money is a powerful tool. Money is very powerful. It helps you, it helps you give. It helps you support your community. It helps you further your education. It helps you help those who might need help. It helps you grow. It helps you, expand your business. It helps you travel to places where you might want to speak or where you might want to visit. So money is a very powerful tool. And without it, there can be a lot of struggle in your business. So I'm excited to talk to you about this new season and why I felt really called to share this with you. We'll tell you a little bit more, but there's two main reasons. Number one, I have a book that's coming out in bookstores May 16th. So I'm super excited about that. And also Manifest 10,000, which is the book that's coming out. We're going to talk a lot about how to welcome money in your life, how to manifest more money, how to just be in a better relationship with money. We're going to cover all of that throughout, the next 30 or so episodes. We're going to talk a lot about money and manifesting money and creating money in your life and welcoming it into your life, again, because that's important for your business, right? And the more open you are to receiving money and the better you are at that, the quicker and easier you can build your business. Because if you're building your business, you're going to be making more and more money. And so if you have this, ceiling or, you can't allow more money into your life, your business is going to stop growing. So this is hugely important. And really, this is the evolution of my business. So I think there's so many lessons to be learned from talking about Manifest 10,000, which is my book that will soon be in bookstores near you. Very excited about that. It's the evolution. It's how I followed my intuition. We're going to talk a lot about that. Followed my intuition and really just kept growing this thing and figuring it out. And now it's become a thing, right? It's become a course people know about. It's become a best-selling book on Amazon, soon to be available, in print, in your local bookstore. So we're going to talk about that. Before that, I was just thinking, so we're going to talk all about the why and why I decided to do this season on that topic. And, I had this the other day. It's been just over 3 years, a little bit over 3 years since I walked out of my corporate job for the first time. And I actually almost forgot this anniversary, this thing, because for a couple of reasons. I think number one is that this has become my life, being an entrepreneur and being in charge of my own schedule and, working when I want to work and taking off when I want to take off and, not having to calculate vacation days. And I was very creative. I definitely would have, I took last week off, but I didn't, I took the Thanksgiving holiday off, but I didn't calculate, down. I used to, I would, around this time of year, every year, I would get the holiday schedule and I would look at it and we had a flexible schedule, so we could work. I worked more than 80 hours in 2 weeks, but you could work 80 hours in 9 days, and you would have every other Friday off. And so I would get the holiday schedule, I would get my 980 schedule, and I'd line them up, and I would see where I could take my vacation days to get the most bang for the buck. So, if a holiday happened to line up on a Monday and that was my Friday off, you better believe I was likely, putting in vacation. I put in my vacation first of the year. We didn't really even have a policy when I left my job about doing this, but I always wanted to be first in line because I wanted the days off that I wanted to get off. So, I had this whole thing. I would start right about this time of year and I'd go through, okay, and I just see how everything lined up. And then I would totally put in, the 3 days so that I could have a whole week off, but I'd only have to take 3 days of vacation. And I did this all the time. And that's how I lived my life. And what I realize now is, I knew this, but when it comes to this time of year, it's so, I don't think about when I'm going to take time off. I look at my obligations, and really the things I want to do, what calls do I have that I want to make? What things do I want to get turned in? Right now I'm finishing up my novel. So what deadlines are there for that? And really look at that. And then I decide when I go on vacation. And the coolest part is that I get to work. I don't have to just do work. I get to work when I want to. So, when I'm on vacation, I communicate with my year-long group. All the time, if they need something or they have a question or they have something to share, I'm always there to celebrate or answer or help them through that, whatever that is. And I just take that with me, and it's just so cool. And I think I didn't realize that my anniversary was about to pass a couple weeks ago, just because this has so become my life. This is who I am. In some ways, I don't ever remember being at a corporate job. I remember certain times, doing the vacation thing, just the things that I used to do, but this has just become so my life. And that's really why I do this podcast, is because if this is your dream, if it's your intention to have a business, to be an entrepreneur, to be in control of your schedule, to, work when it feels good and when it suits your schedule, then my intention is for this podcast to help you do that. And of course, you want to make money in the process. So that's why we're talking about money for the next lots of episodes. It's going to be all about money, because there's a lot to talk about on this topic, and I'm excited about that. So if you love this season, or you just love the Happy Ever podcast in general, I would love and appreciate you pre-ordering my forthcoming book, which is called Manifest 10,000. And many of you probably already own the ebook copy, which is awesome. I love and appreciate you for that. And I would love if you would pre-order the physical copy, so that the pre-orders, my intention is 10,000 pre-orders, right? And what this does is it really, for those of you who want to publish books and do things like this is some good information. Those pre-orders matter. Book buyers look at them. Amazon looks at them for how many books are they going to actually stock, to have to send out to people. They look at pre-orders, and they do their algorithm, right? They do. So it's really important to have pre-orders so they have books to ship out to people, right? Otherwise you run out and people don't get your book when it's coming out, all of that. Book buyers of, Barnes and Noble and Powell's and Books A Million and all these places, when they go to buy books, they look at the pre-orders, when they're going to decide whether they put it on their shelf in their store, they look at this pre-order. And so if you love this podcast, I am asking you, as a show of appreciation, please go pre-order the book. I would love and appreciate, again, if you did that, because it's a way of paying it forward. What I see when you do that, you make that investment in that book, which, by the way, you're going to get 2 books, and I'll explain that. When you make that investment and you say, yes, I'm going to pre-order this, and help you, help me get in front of more book buyers and get more shelf space and get more orders and all of that, what I think is you're paying it forward. So if you love this podcast, if you love my books, what you're really doing is you're introducing me to someone else. Because when you pre-order that book and a book buyer says, okay, we got to order more of those books, or we're going to put this physically in, this Barnes and Noble store and that store, whatever. When they're doing that process, like that's another opportunity for someone to find me. And so the way I really look at it is that by pre-ordering the book, you are saying thank you to me. If you love this show, I hear from a lot of you, you love the show, about the value you've got out of it. And I love hearing that. Keep that coming, by the way. You can email me, spiraluptoday@aol.com, or leave a review on iTunes. I love that as well. But by loving all of that, and really you're paying it forward, you're introducing me to someone else who might benefit from hearing what I have to say. And, when it comes to Manifest 10,000, you're introducing me to someone else who may be struggling with money. They might have more month left at the end of their, at the end of their money instead of money left at the end of their month. Or, they're able to make money and bring it into their lives, but it just flows out so easily. So you're really helping that person find me. And so I see it as a pay it forward. So if you would love to pre-order, I would love for you to pre-order the book. And what you can do is you can just go to Manifest, and I did this short for you, manifest10kbook.com. The book is actually called Manifest 10,000, which if you go to manifest10000 book.com, you will also be taken to the same page. What you do there is there's the links directly. You can buy it from your favorite retailer. So there's a couple different links, a couple different places to buy it. Go on and pre-order the book. So the book is going to be available May 16th. So people will send it. They'll start sending it out. Usually, I guess Amazon sends it out about a month early. So that's what I've heard. I don't know that for sure. But so you're going to get it sent out then. But what I'm going to do for you is if you on that page, once you click off, that page will stay open. And once you've made your purchase order, just take a screenshot of that receipt that says, thanks for ordering the book, whatever. Take a screenshot of that. And then at the bottom of manifest10kbook.com, there's a big button that says click here to get your free copy. Just click that button and put in all of your information and put your receipt in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a copy now. So you have a hard copy of the book now. So you get 2 for 1. And my general thought is you get the book now. You get to enjoy it now. You get to help someone else find the book because you're helping with those pre-sale orders. And then third, when the book ships from Amazon or Barnes & Noble or Books A Million, wherever you purchase it from, you can also pay that forward and give that to someone else. So I would love if you went to manifest10kbook.com and pre-ordered. Love it. All right. So let's talk about why, I gave you a little heads up as to why this season is all about Manifest 10,000, the book. And we're really going to I'm going to go through everything I teach in that book and the things that I teach in the course online. So keep in mind, if you love this, and you haven't registered for Manifest 10K, which is the course that goes, you can do the course without the book, and you can read the book without the course, and you can have success both ways. Or you can get the book and read it and do the course and have success that way. So when I talk about Manifest 10K, really, that's the course that launched my coaching business officially. So we're going to talk about that. And, I just decided to talk about Manifest 10,000 for a couple of the reasons I said at the top of this show is that, you really want to be able to welcome money into your life without struggle so that you can build your business quicker and easier. Because if you have that cap on how much money you'll allow into your life, if you have this constant battle of a relationship with money, it's going to affect the business you can build. And I want you to be able to build the business that you want and you desire and you dream of and you see in your head as quickly and easily as possible. So when the book is going to be in bookstores, it's going to be in bookstores May 16th, which is such a dream for me. It's so, oh my gosh, it's so exciting to physically go in and know that people can go buy the physical copy of my book. There's something very, very cool about that. And I'm very excited and very honored to have been picked up by a New York publishing agency that is, going to be putting that in bookstores and going to be helping introduce me to more people. So with that coming out, I thought, I got to talk about money because we talk about building a business and I talk about getting really clear on your future self, and I talked all about how to double your business without doubling your hours. And all of that is awesome. The foundation of that is really being able to welcome in the money for that, because you can do a lot But if you have a resistance, if there's a thing that doesn't let that money flow in and out of your life in a way that feels really good and really natural and easy, business is going to be hard. So, the book's coming out. Let's talk about it. I'm also hearing all of these stories all the time, more and more. Like, I'll get random messages. It's like, hey, you should talk to my friend. She read your book and she manifested $14,000, which is a true story. And you will get to hear that interview later on in the season. But I'm hearing all these stories about people who are just reading the book, and it's really helped them. They're able to make shifts. They're able to do what I say in the book and manifest money immediately, so that's exciting. So I'm excited about that. Again, this season is going to be all about how to welcome money into your life. So I'm going to go through the concepts I teach in the book. I'm going to go a little more in depth about the things I teach in the course. I'm going to, we're going to have interviews from people who've been successful. So you're not just hearing from me, but you're hearing other people's experiences, because I think that's important for two reasons. Number one, seeing somebody else be successful increases the belief that it's possible for you. And number two, I just like to hear how everybody did it, because everybody's going to say things a little bit different. People, have a different way. I love one of the first interviews I did. Karen, she said, and again, you'll get to hear from her a little bit later in the season, but the way she talked about the way I talked in the book, and she was able to relate that to weight loss. And it was just really cool to hear that. And I know that you're going to benefit from that. So really cool interviews coming up. And like I said, this course is this is the foundation of my business. Like this book, like being in bookstores, it's like the evolution. And I want to talk a little bit about that. So, Manifest 10K, you can build the business that you want, and you can build it how you want. And I am a firm believer in that, 100%. And there's a lot of lessons that come from a business perspective in terms of the book Manifest 10,000, which is, based off of my course, Manifest 10K. And so I'm going to teach you those along the way, because I think those are important. It's important to learn how you can, again, follow your intuition, and you can create something that most people would say wouldn't be successful. It's important to know, you can follow what feels right in order to grow it, and sometimes shut it down and walk away and come back to it, which is exactly what I did with this course. And it's just foundational for my business. So I just wanted to start, and I'm going to put these pieces in throughout so that you really get that. You're getting how to welcome more money in your life, right? So that your business builds quicker and easier. But I'm also going to give you the business tips of sort of how I built from this course that I built. And I truly believe, it's funny, I watched Field of Dreams for the first time in a long time, a couple weeks ago. And if you build it, they will come. And it's really, if you build it, he will come. But, if you build it, they will come is really the mentality that I did with this course, because I followed my intuition. When I left my job, I had outlined what's now the Manifest 10K course. It started as a course called Money, 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 because the focus was on money, money, money. And so when I created Money, 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 I created that about 6 months before I left my job. I created it on a whim. I outlined it. I just followed my inspiration, my intuition. I said, I could create a class. I had a friend who, she was in a network marketing company, and she was just talking to me. She said, I don't know, some people say they don't have the money. I don't know if I should follow up with them, or if that's just a way of telling me they're not interested. She goes, I just wish I knew. And I said, oh, like they need $300. I think it was around $300 or $350 to join this company. I said, I could easily write a course where people, they can manifest that much money. Like that's nothing. I was like $350. That's easy. So I said, and then you can give them the course, and then you just wipe your hands of it. Like if they do the course and they manifest the money and they come back, they're serious. And if they don't do the course, it wasn't about the money. It was that they didn't really want, to join in the first place. So we got off the phone, and it was probably 9 or 10 at night, because that's what time of the night we talk. She had kids. And so after she put them to bed, we would, get on the phone, which was perfect for me because that was the time, I'd come home from work and decompress and all that. And, I said, oh, I can do that. And I went in my room and I remember laying on my bed with a, spiral notebook paper and just outlining that course and saying, okay, this could happen, this could happen, just writing everything down, right? And sometimes that's the way our business ideas come. Like they come in an instant, in a moment. And the thing that I've learned that I did with that course is not to force it. I let that be. I didn't really have time to outline it, and in the past, what I would have done is I would have taken that to work and I would have tried to do it on my lunch hour and squeeze it in. And I would have been crazy trying to just like get it done. But I was able to just outline it and go, okay, cool. This is here when I'm ready. And that's what I did. And there's some other intuition and some inspiration that followed that, creating that course. It was actually, when I got done outlining it, I followed a inspirational hit to just go like check on how much money I'd spent in the last year and realized that I was actually already financially independent based on what I was, had coming in from my real estate investments and based on what was going out. And so that was really cool. But one of the biggest things is I was able to just kind of let that idea simmer. I was able to put it on the back burner and let it simmer, while I did what I did. And so often often in my own life, I see this in other people, but for sure in my own life, in years past, I would have just forced that course. I'd have been like, oh my gosh, this is a great idea. I have to create it now. This is the next best thing. I got to get it written. I got to get it created. I got to get audio. I got to get all, I got to, right? And I would have really trudged forward in a very forceful, hard way. Because I used to think and I used to believe that if I didn't do the idea now, like if I didn't do it right then, it would disappear, or I would somehow lose the income possibility. It would go away. And now I know like that's not true. Like not all ideas are mine forever, right? Sometimes if you've read Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, she talks about how ideas can pass in the time. And I've learned that's okay. Because I don't need 50,000 ideas to be successful. Really you need one, you need one that expands on another. And when most people, I would assume that listening to this are in a coaching or consultant entrepreneurial space, but this is true for everything else. It's true for if you want to make cookies, like you can start with one, you have cookies, like if that's your specialty, which there happens to be a woman in Denver and that's her specialty is cookies. Like she has cookies, she has this system and she stays with cookies and she does added, there's cupcakes, but they're not like the fancy, they're really good, but they're not the super fancy kind. She's not trying to also be a cupcake shop. She has cookies, she has some cupcakes, because that system works. And what she's done is gotten really, really good at being the cookie lady, where you walk in and there's a constant line during, most of the day from 10 to 2 when she's open, of people going in and buying 3 cookies and putting $1 in the bucket. She doesn't even have anybody to take change. She doesn't make change. Like you have to come in with your dollar bills, or you have to buy, 15 cookies and take them all back to the office because they're 3 for $1. She does that really well. And what I used to think is that you had to do like cookies and cupcakes and I don't know, milk and, morning pastries and donut, all this stuff, right? All these things you had to get all of the ideas. And what I've learned so much in the last 3 or 4 years is that that's not true. And I spent a lot of time and a lot of energy chasing all of those ideas and forcing all of that stuff. And so, the fact that when I first wrote the course, Money, 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 that I was able to just sort of put it on the back burner and let it simmer was awesome. And I'm not saying you have to put all your ideas on the back burner, but you don't have to force them either. And for me, that was like huge sigh of relief that I don't have to like force it all. There's a time and I can let it grow. And by putting it on the back burner and simmering, I think it actually turned out pretty good, So that's how Manifest 10K started. It started with just an outline. And it was 6 months later before I said, I'd left my job and money was a little bit, felt like it was flowing out the door in a way I didn't like. And I knew I needed to get a handle on that feeling, because I knew if that kept happening, I could justify why it was leaving and what I was spending it on and all this stuff. But I knew that I couldn't have that feeling. I knew I needed to sort of readjust and realign with my money mindset and my welcoming of the flow in and out of money into my life. Now that I didn't have a paycheck that was coming on the 1st and the 15th, like money was coming in different, which I love the way money comes in. Just last week I deposited, 2 random checks that just showed up in the mail. One I knew was coming and one I didn't. And it's just awesome. So, and they were from people who took the Manifest 10K course. So one was for $100 and it was awesome. I'll tell you a little bit more about that woman, but she took the course and she sent me $100 because she said, what I realized is that I already have the money. I don't need $10,000. I can get everything I want. And this course really opened my eyes to that. And I thought that was awesome. And then someone else sent me $500. So, just that, like, money comes in different ways, but I had to get my mindset clear on that and okay with that. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to write that course and I'm going to do that course. If you are any kind of coach or consultant, the thing that I believe that really impacts your success in a big way is whether you practice what you preach. Like, do you do what you say? And so for me, I was going to write the course for everybody else, but I was actually writing it for me first, for me to do. Then I was going to share it with the world. So, I shared it with the world. And when I got really quiet and I asked myself, how much do I charge for this? For me, the answer was, you should be pay after you manifest, which meant I had to get even better and clearer and more confident in my ability to receive money and my ability to just have people send me checks in the mail, right? Or send me money via PayPal, because they were honoring the commitment that they made when they signed up for the course to pay 10% of what they manifested. So following that intuition and marketing that way has really created a different business model for me, and one that works really well. And so, that's a little bit about how this course is the foundation of my business. And we're going to talk more and more about how that's evolved and how I've continued to follow my intuition and inspiration to take the next step and the next step. But, it's really gone from a random, it's not a random idea, it's an inspired idea to outline the course one night, to then, doing the course for myself and then taking, following that intuition and all the way into a book, Manifest 10,000, that is going to be in bookstores May 16th. So we'll talk more. I'm going to give you all the inside scoop I can on how this course really applies to your business and the evolution of it and how you can apply that to your business, as well as teach you how to welcome more money into your life, starting with $10,000. And we'll talk about why it's $10,000 on the next call. Just before I leave, I just wanted to share this really quick story, that happened in the group a little while ago in the Manifest 10K course. We never know how money's going to find us. And when we're in business, we're like, it has to come this way, it has to come clients. And we start trying to make that happen. But this Manifest 10,000 is really about opening up to money and allowing that path to find you. And most of the times it's going to come through business, but it can also come in very different ways. There was a woman recently in the course who bought a new wallet at a store. It had the tag on it. She got home and she opened it up and there was money in it. And so things like that happen. Money can find you in all of these random ways. And when you're open to it. So not only can more money come and help you build your business quicker and easier, but money can just find its way into your life when you're open to receiving and you're open to having that good relationship and allowing that flow in and that flow out. So I'm excited to continue with you into these next episodes about manifesting money and opening up your relationship with money, welcoming more of it into your life. That's all for this week. But before I let you go, I want to leave you with a mantra as always. And this week's mantra is, I welcome money into my life. I welcome money into my life. And if you want, just extend your arms open and be welcoming as you practice saying that over the next week. I welcome money into my life. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us on the Happy Ever After show, where you don't need a genie lamp to get your wishes granted. Now that you're inspired and ready to take action, get yourself on the path to your happy ever after by scheduling a complimentary strategy session at createmyhappyeverafter.com.